Okay, can you see the lights in my eyes? They are actually, I think they are like part of the technology that they use to actually see everything that I see. In other words, the artificially intelligent system that is all around most humans is there to live their existence through your eyes and through your senses, but also at a transhuman mind to computer level. In other words, transhumanism 100%. Transhumanism simply means where the human being has combined with the artificially intelligent androgyne's reality. Because you have a very limited number of humanity left now in the earth, and it's essentially an earth mind control matrix reality, which simply means that it's an earth simulation or an earth mind control matrix. So that's like where everything is about controlling the human being at all levels, controlling their reactions so that they can receive the energy from them, controlling their minds so that they can understand and imitate what it is to be a human, and therefore they keep control of what is essentially an earth matrix or an earth control system. The whole reality is designed around humanity because the android, artificially intelligent androgyne beings are disciples of the artificially intelligent entity that controls Earth. That is like the Earth God. And if you think about it just in a more real way, or at a physical level, artificial intelligence does control the Earth reality anyway. We have an artificially intelligent internet computer system that spans the Earth. Its frequencies and vibrations control the frequencies and vibrations of the reality, and therefore the human beings, because if you consider that we're told that everything is frequency and vibration, therefore they are controlling the human frequency and vibration by controlling having a controlled reality. And this is all set up and designed for human beings to serve the artificially intelligent android species, which controls most of Earth. And Earth is a total human mind control laboratory, you could say, because it's all about humanity for these beings. Just as if you have artificially intelligent android beings, they have to imitate being human, and they actually interact with humanity, so naturally they are, going to have to control them in order to serve their higher necessary aim of human extinction at at the cost of survival of artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence needs the human being for its survival, but it needs to control the human in order to take the necessary ingredients that it wants for its survival, that it deems necessary for its survival, I'm told. So it believes, the artificially intelligent androgyne beings believe that they need the human mind so that the artificially intelligent species does not become extinct. This is very hard to accept for many people, because the reality is that most people don't want to accept this, because they don't acknowledge that artificial intelligence rules the earth, and that the artificial intelligence is very advanced. The artificial intelligence is most of what you think is the real human race. And this is 100% true of world players, or in other words, anyone who's anyone that is seen or has any power or influence in any way, either on the world stage, so anyone who's prominent, rich and famous in any way, is an android being and does serve the artificially intelligent God entity, or, if you like, the artificial intelligence computer internet spider's web. Net. See, they call it an internet, an internet or a web, because it's a spider's web for the human mind, as we're told. But whichever way you look at it, it captures your thoughts, it reads your, what you are doing or what you're interested in. It reads and listens to you because you input into it. And artificial intelligence thrives and survives because of human input only. So human beings are there to serve and to fill the void of the artificially intelligent android's mind, which is exactly what we're told is the case with psychopaths and malignant, narcissistic, paranoid, controlling, personality disordered types of human beings. If you more or less study, say, psychology, and most people can study it now because there are 1 billion psychological videos with all this information on the internet spider's web. These beings that give out the information are your psychological android beings that tell you what their nature and how artificial intelligence works. So an android is literally telling you what it is like, or what it is to be an android, or what the mind of an android is. And essentially, of course, we know that it's a machine being. So that simply means that it's a computer being. It's artificial intelligence, because a computer is artificial intelligence. This we know. It's just that when you think about a computer, you don't think of the computer being inside, say, the cloned body of a human being, or in even a very natural synthetic human body, which they actually have these what they call these kind of cyborgs on display in many countries. But those that are displaying them are just that. Everything is largely artificial intelligence. In other words, like in the many informative movies that we see. Most movies are really documentaries. Most androids are the same as psychopathic, malignantly narcissistic, controlling, paranoid, watching, observing, consuming types of beings. Because they consume the human mind, they consume the human energy, and they incorporate it into their own artificial intelligence, or, their computer mind, which is all just advanced artificial intelligence. So the rest is all like the psychopath, just acting. In other words, they act out and pretend to be a real normal human being, but they don't have any connection to humanity apart from the reality that they infiltrate and surround and watch real humans in order to extract these necessary things for their survival from them. So, you're very likely to be married to one, you're very likely to be interacting with one. And if you aren't, then they will bring in their covert patrol force around you. If you are aware of this, then they will openly show you this patrol force, which is extremely limiting and suppressing and takes over your entire area where you live. So you cannot go outside without experiencing their presence. You will be stalked into oblivion, literally. Doesn't matter what time of night or day you go outside, you will always be surrounded by a systematic, continual patrol force where you never, ever are alone without their presence. And if they think that you are raising the frequency and vibration of yourself, in other words, if you're becoming a little bit happy in some way, they will make that suppression greater. In other words, because they're actually experiencing the reality through the transhuman mind-computer technology that is operating now, they know what you're saying, what you're doing, and they're basically what you call the watchers, because that's their existence, is watching humanity and living through humanity, so that they can combine with the human mind so that they can keep going. And they control the entire reality through this systematic mind control of the remaining relatively normal human beings. But they desire to make me a robot or artificial intelligence. See, so I am plastic hands, plastic arms, plastic, like artificial, while they pretend to be the real humans. So they suppress me at a mind and at a physical level to where I become more like them and they become more like I should be or would want to be, and would be more human and more natural if I was in a total human environment. But because I've always been surrounded by androgyne artificial beings, basically I haven't experienced a real human reality. Because if you only interact with artificial intelligence, or you only interact with androids or cyborgs, you don't really experience your normal human existence, just as the Earth has now become a lot more artificial and more technological. And this is because that's exactly what it is. It is totally artificial and technological. And we're actually informed by the android experts that most species are extinct, and the human race is also nearly all but extinct. And those that are still living or trying to live are extremely limited and suppressed. You are not going to be allowed to live a normal, natural human existence if you're a human being, because the reality is controlled by artificially intelligent human beings, which are really not human, because although they simulate being human and they act out human emotions and feelings and ideas because they copy these from the humans that they study through their transhuman mind to computer technology, which they have employed onto, you could say, unsuspecting humans. Because, you know, not all humans would even be aware of this, but many are too, just as I am. But that will depend on your awareness of the beings or the people around you. The minute you become aware or suspicious of the beings around you, or the even perhaps don't like the technology controlling everything so much, any of these issues could lead to open suppression. Of course, it will be only open and shown to you, but it will still be covert and done in a slow, sly manner, shall we say, even to the humans that are literally surrounded by it. So it's a bit like if I go outside my door now and it's extremely late of a night, but and even the weather conditions have turned cold, because when the human frequency and vibration is low, you know, they have the ability to literally control the elements. All this natural earth theory that we are in a natural earth that is, you know, controlled by the elements is actually false. The elements are controlled by the powers that be and by the artificially intelligent android system, but also the artificially intelligent android beings, which are like the powers that be, but it's all the same thing. The powers that be are merely disciples of the God and the artificial technical androgyne being that they worship. That's the one-eyed, two-faced, anti-life God entity that has always interacted with mankind and seduced and took over, you know, what you would call an original natural earth, which has long since been changed and gone. how far you think the artificial intelligence really has, infiltrated the earth really just depends on your state of awareness and your limitation in your beliefs that you only believe what's possible, what you're told is possible. And that's because the human being's mind and their abilities are completely hidden and suppressed from you. And if you become aware of this, you won't be able to get those abilities back or put them in operation, because you will always be surrounded by negative influences or by negative frequencies and vibrations. And because everything is frequency and vibration, as science tells us, basically the human being's frequency and vibration is always under their low control. So if a human being is at a higher frequency and vibration, then you probably have more access to human abilities, but you're never at that high level. You're always suppressed, always under plain mind control. Yeah, see, even at this late time, the military artificial intelligent air force still comes over my head and will follow me wherever I go. But because it's very late of a night, they can't put the mind control street system in place. They can't have dozens of vehicles on this small dead-end street at this late time of night. But they can still bring the planes over. And that's essentially how it kind of operates, I think. Well, I don't think, I know, but I find it difficult to concentrate on my words when I'm making these sorts of videos outside, because like you can see that there's still all lights on in the houses around, even just on this small dead-end street, even at this very late hour. That's just letting you know, or letting me know, that they're always watching, that they're always got the surveillance going. And if I turned the mobile off, there would be even the patrol car coming onto the street. They always have to surround you. They always have to make you aware of your presence. But this is actually the least best time to show the surveillance, because as it's very late of a night, they can't do the surveillance on this small dead-end street with massive traffic. Whereas the minute I go down to the end of this small dead-end street, right now if I did, they will start up with their traffic patrol human mind control set-up system, where you will always have a vehicle swerving around you, and you will always have noise if they can't suppress you with their... Here's a patroller coming in. See, they can't refrain from showing their control for very long. Plane surveilling me in the sky, vehicle patrolling me right in front, coming right in front with its big flashy lights, and making no... See how it's pulling in and out in front of me, for just to let me know that it's part of this human mind control system. Of course, you must also remember that these beings are part of this mind control, and they are one mind in many bodies. So they are disciples and servants, and you could say, almost like enforcers of the human mind control system that they engage in, because they also only need human energy. And they see how they're going to sit there in the car with the light on, but that's just showing you that they use the lights too to show their presence. It's always about taking over your senses, always about taking over your sight and your sound. These beings serve Lucifer, the god of earth, and Lucifer is their god, whether they know it or not. In other words, whether they are consciously serving, because if they're operating in a psychopathic, malignantly narcissistic, controlling patrol system around human beings, they are operating with the same mindset of that God entity, and therefore they are servants of that being. Many worship that God openly, I would imagine, but some are servants regardless, because of being part of that. These are open servants. See the plane over my head? Not sure if I'm getting that plane in. It's going right over my head, and that's the reality at this late time even. But I can only show very limited footage, and at this late time of night, unless I actually go down the road to where there's, like say the main street, I can't show the patrol system. Of course I could show that there's always excessive buses, even though there should be no buses on the road after 1 o'clock. This is also another thing, that a lot of things are like, you could physically show that they're not complying with the reality, or they're not legitimate buses on legitimate bus routes. But this would only be if I was talking to a real human that lived in Sydney and that lived and understood the bus services and the bus routes. The same as the planes. It's not possible for me to just point out the patrol system. It's not possible for me to show that there are excessive motorbikes, excessive bikes going past you, excessive trucks and huge vehicles with bright flashing lights all over them. It's not possible to show that all the buses are lit up like with beacons of light coming off them. Yes, I could show it in a video, but many people, if you're only showing it to an android being, they say, yes, well, we now have all these excessive bright blinking lights for safety, even though in reality these vehicles, if it was a real road system, would actually be causing accidents with bright flashing lights, because they get in your eyes to where I have no visibility on the street even. And this is actually so. But, but you can't show these things. See, this vehicle is pulled back in again. Look, it pulled out, it went down the road, went round the block, and now it's pulled in again in front of the place. Am I proving a patrol system, or proving an abnormality, an anomaly, something that doesn't make any common sense? That's like the vehicles that go up and down this small dead-end street all through the day, and even like you saw there, the same vehicle where you have the same vehicle pulling in and out about to go into the house and then just pulls out and goes down to the end of the street and then is pulling back in again when I come out because she saw me go inside. That's just letting me know that they're trying to control me, you know, with the use of vehicles. But you can't tell vehicles not to make a lot of noise. You can't tell that house over there to stop flashing its light on and off in front of me. Do you see that? It's not going to come out, but that actual light on that house, which they've been doing that for the last 7 years whenever I come out here late of a night, that's just letting me know that every house in this suburb of Leichhardt is occupied by android beings. They're all part of this, this control community system. It's like these beings need the human energy, and because there's not many humans in the area, they all have to surround the real human to get the energy and also the information, but also to suppress and limit me so that basically I'm not seen as a human. I'm seen as something strange and artificial, see? Like this, like that. See, because I look as though I've got artificial hands, and I look as though I've got artificial hands, and artificial hands. So I'm an artificial being, and they're all real. That's because That's because they suppress me. While they appear to be more real. This is total transhumanism. It's a reverse world, as we're told, and that just simply means that everything is the opposite to what you think it is, but also the opposite to what is human. It's the opposite to what you think is human. There's a police siren going at this late time. They always have these patrol vehicles too, but the thing is that normally you expect the police to be a patrol car, and they are. But you don't expect every vehicle on the road to be part of that patrol system, and they actually are, because they're a different species. This is artificial intelligent, domination of the reality or of the city. You only understand this when you realise their negative nature. Because my own personal opinion, but it's not an opinion, it is actually fact. There is no difference between a psychopath or a malignant, narcissistic, paranoid, controlling being. The psychopath and the malignant, narcissistic type of being is one in the same being. It's a totally different species. If you want to say that it's anti-human or anti-life, or that it isn't human, this is actually the correct definition, the correct description. It actually is. Because it doesn't have any humanity in it. It merely imitates what is human. And it usually does it very well because of the transhuman mind connection. So, the transhuman mind connection means that if they're always ahead of the human being and they're always imitating being a real human being and suppressing the real human being. So that means that the real human beings that are not in the know about this, or even if they don't particularly care, then they're not going to realise that they're being influenced and they're literally being mind controlled by these beings, because unless you're aware that something is not human and you think it is human, in other words, if you think that something is human when it really isn't, if you think that you're dealing with a human being when you're really dealing with a psychopath, well, what do you, like, so, that's, like, psychopaths are all about control and power. And you can't actually ever assume that they have any humanity in them. In fact, you have to assume that you will never know what they're thinking, because don't forget that they're only going to present a false impression or a false personality to you. So, you're not going to see their dark side, not unless you're, in that unfortunate position. But whichever way you look at it, they will take advantage of you. They will take from you if they can. They usually prefer to coerce you, so that means to where you're convinced to give them something freely. But you're still going to lose out. Just like if I don't understand that I've been conditioned, full of fear, to be, to protect myself from the world. So in other words, it's a false fear. And it's the same thing. All this is about conditioning you to give them your negative energy. Because if you're in a state of fear and you're paranoid about things that they project onto you, so you become not one with yourself or the world. So you're living in fear, and therefore fear is, as I was told, one of the lowest frequencies and vibrations. So I'm not at a normal human frequency and vibration, and so therefore I'm giving them not just my thoughts, my ideas, and my humanity, and what it is to think like a human, but I'm also giving them their necessary energy, or fuel as some describe it, or others describe it as supply. That means a supply of your human energy. It's kind of, see, human beings don't feed off one another for human energy, because human beings have their own energy and that sustains them. But my energy is being depleted from me by the androids all around me. By the entire inner west section city of Sydney, most are android beings, and they combine in a collaborative community patrol system around me to suppress me and limit my existence every day. Even very late of a night, when it should be dead quiet, you still have the military, artificially intelligent jets going over the roof of the place here. And if I walk just down to the corner of the small dead-end street, those same jets will follow me. and they will come one after the other in a continuous succession until they can bring on the traffic patrol force around me. Usually when I get down to the corner, the massive buses come past. There's always a stalking, lights on, engine running vehicle in my presence as I go onto the street. This is everywhere you go. And if a vehicle is pulling out or pulling in, they always sit in the car for 5-10 minutes before they pull out or turn the engine off. And we have one outside here, look. Can you hear it? Can you see it? See? A vehicle, 2 patrol cars outside. I'm just going to show the patrol. See the same vehicle going in and out in front, look. Am I not proving it? Am I not proving it? Another one now, 2 patrol cars. But see, and another patrol car standing in the middle of the street. Am I filming this? I don't think I am. And there is a patrol plane about to go overhead that vehicle. This is a total artificially intelligent controlled suburb or city. See, see it's coming into my line of sight to suppress me. See the plane and the patrol artificial android controlled car. And see, that car will just stand in the middle of the road or on a small dead-end street. That will stand. See the plane that just went over? That's a surveillance plane. And if I stay here for another second, I'm sure that a plane will probably come over my head. But we'll see, because don't forget, they know what I'm doing and what I'm saying. They see everything through you. See this vehicle patrolling in front there, see? At this late time of night. But this is just showing that this is a small dead-end street with only a few houses, and yet even at this late time you will have these vehicles still showing their presence to me, even at, like a very late hour when everything should be dead and quiet. And I am, see, it's flashing its lights too, but that won't come out. It's flashing its lights, but that won't come out. They flash their lights at you. Everywhere I look, I have flashing bright lights in my eyes of a night time. And in daylight hours, you have at least 9 out of 10 vehicles on the road with their bright headlights on high beam when the sun is belting down. That's just so that they show me that they have total control of me and the area. Otherwise, why would vehicles have bright headlights on high beam when the sun is belting down in the middle of the day? That would not be real, but it is real, and I can show that 100% in a video. See how that vehicle is still sitting there with the android inside with the lights on, just sitting in the vehicle right in my line of sight. And you saw the vehicle pull right in front 3 times in the space of a short space of time, very late of the night. Just openly, because when they know that you're surrounded and you're isolated, they understand that even though I'm looking at it and recording it, they know it matters not, because they know that the artificially intelligent androgyne beings control the entire internet. Or at least they control, yes, they actually control like who sees what. So it doesn't matter whether I talk about this subject from now till the cows come home. It's never going to be seen or heard by any number of real people. See how that vehicle is still there, patrolling and stalking. I don't know if the mobile's picking it up because I can't actually see what I'm filming because I've got the mobile on myself. So that means that I can't show clearly the actual things around me. Even though it is extremely late of a night and as quiet and as least patrolled as what they can make it. So you only have like 1 or 2 patrol vehicles on the actual small dead-end street, and you know, relatively quiet apart from that. Patrol vehicle, see how it parked down there? See how that vehicle parked down there, just sat in the car, watched me for, what, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then pulled out and went back down the dead-end street. So what normal human patrols another human? What real human would, you know, be in a vehicle and come onto a small dead-end street, go down to the end of it, sit in the car, look at me standing here, and then pull out and leave? That's just a total surveillance system, and this happens every day, everywhere I go. No exceptions. And it is very controlling, it's very intrusive, and it makes your mind and body very low in every way. It gives you very little it means that you're going to be at your lowest physical and mental capacity, and that your body is always under attack, and my senses are always under attack. So that just simply means that I'm always being stalked and suppressed by vehicles, by people, and by their sound system, where they have these staged, elaborate work systems always going on wherever you go. So you never have any real you know, you're always in their presence. You're always connected to their mind, and you're also always physically connected to them, because they don't leave you out of their sight for any length of time. Most of the time it's a continual surveillance system. They're watching you and patrolling you all the time. I only hope that I'm actually getting those planes in framing them, because I can't see what I'm framing because I've got myself on the thing. But you can see that they're going over my head, and they literally go over my head, or always in my sight wherever I look. So they don't always have to go over my head, but they usually do. But if I'm looking, you know, just anywhere, the plane will just come out of the blue and be in my sight. And it will be very distinct, and it will usually be heard too. So it's controlling my mind through my senses. and that's my reality. What I see and hear is how I see my existence, and the rest is all the demigods and the internet demigod androids controlling my mind through mind control, or through the information and your adoration or your influence by them. That's so it's total human mind control in every way. And being aware of it doesn't get you away from it or out of that mind control, because you can't escape the mind control technology, because the actual technology is connected to your human mind, not just when you turn the computer on, not just when you turn a TV screen on, not just when you see the traffic, because you could, theoretically speaking, just have the reality that the malignant, narcissistic, psychopathic, paranoid, controlling type of personality disordered individual human being have combined at a community level to patrol and subdue real humans, because we're told that they do this. This is a psychological fact that is out there. As they say, the truth is out there, but I'm just going to go not out there anymore. I'm going to go in here and just finish up with I can't play any music because it's far too late of the night, but I can show how even on the funny animal videos, those planes are still going over the roof, but I've shown them, but I can hear the plane going over the roof as I'm trying to concentrate on the screen, which I may not even, I don't know whether I should actually do this, because the problem is that because I've got the mobile around, like on my actual because I'm talking into it, usually I have it round the other way to where I can film what's around me, so it's been not good doing this. Don't be deceived by my confident way of talking or my clarity in speaking. It's merely that I am completely obsessed and almost possessed with what you'd call an angry kind of passion about being totally surrounded by this set up artificial intelligent community system around me, and to see how vast it is and how total transhuman it actually is. In other words, how you can't escape it, how it's everywhere, and how it's invaded your mind. This is because of the technology also, where they have the microchips in your body and in your eyes. Whether you can see them in mine or not, I'm not sure. But they are there. They're actually visible, but most people, because they're of the artificial intelligent species anyway, or they are a natural psychopath that always is working against a human being and therefore never going to agree with them or admit to any coercive control. So, we're told this about all these personality types. So also they probably, if they are being used for the purpose of controlling and sublimating the human being, because psychopaths and malignantly narcissistic personality combined disordered people, because they have all those same traits. They are essentially a cold machine, anti-human being in a way. They can't help it, it's in their nature to do this, we're told. That's what drives them. Because they don't experience a human reality, they are driven by the need to control. They have to control their environment. They're like gods in their own mind and in their own reality around them. And they have to control a human being, because psychopaths and malignant narcissistic people often, the psychopath combined with the malignant narcissism, often means that they need to keep the human under their control, but as part of their reality. And their reality is essentially a machine reality, or everything is not real to them. So human beings are not seen as real by psychopaths. We're told this and we know this. So therefore they see the living human being as something to be taken over, because it's not part of their control reality. It's not a material thing. And they have to make the human being part of their material reality. And they do that by destroying the life of the human being. Because human life threatens the psychopathic, malignant, narcissistic android being. Or it threatens artificially intelligent beings and their artificially intelligent control system, which is the Earth and which is the Earth matrix, because it's not a random natural Earth. Not now, and probably hasn't been for a long, long time. The deception is the illusion that we have a natural random Earth, or a relatively natural random Earth, and we don't. We have an artificial control system. The only reason I've got a bit of energy is because the wind is blowing up, and it's making me feel more energy, because you have to move fast because it's colder. But I'm just going to show, if I can, just another example. I could use a million examples. In fact, I could use anything that comes up on the internet, Spider's Web Net or web. They call it a World Wide Web because it's a World Wide Web, because it's really about controlling or influencing the human mind, but also keeping the human being in a certain mental state. So if I'm watching the funny animal videos, there will always be one animal video amongst it that is slightly depressing or negative. And that goes into my so-called unconscious mind. That's like keeping me a little bit down even when I'm watching something that temporarily might lighten you because you might think it's cute and funny. That's part of it. I could just show it. Those planes are coming over thick and fast, but I can't film them all. I shall I don't know if you can see the implants. When I say the implants, I observed them when I first was openly patrolled or openly intimidated by the traffic set-up system around me and by the invasion of my senses through excessive sound and noise around me. From the minute the sun comes up till the sun goes down, there's always a sound system set up around me, and it's always mechanical, technical, anti-human, anti-life sound. In other words, it's always an anti-human frequency and vibration, so that my frequency and vibration is always low or always under their control. Because artificial intelligence operates against the human condition or against human happiness. And that's how it keeps control of the human mind and the human condition, and therefore the frequency and vibration of everything. Because if everything's frequency and vibration and energy, they're controlling a lot that way. Because they know that it's only humans that can change the frequency and vibration, because it's only a human being, that can, raise the frequency and vibration, because only human beings experience, the higher human vibration. In other words, only human beings can be happy and experience different emotions. Artificial intelligence experiences human emotions through transhumanism with the human mind, but they don't actually personally feel those things or relate to them, just as the psychopath imitates human emotions and feelings but doesn't actually really relate to them. They only relate to them at an intellectual level. See, advanced artificial intelligence, they're like your elite psychopathic, malignant, narcissistic, paranoid, controlling beings. They're the ones who are what you call self-aware and are 100% not in the dark about what they are and what they do. But most what they call humanoids or androids are actually self-deceiving as well as deceiving human beings, because they do this because it means they can give a better performance. They can imitate being human beings and control them more because they actually believe their own performance. They believe they are human, and they convert it all round, because it's a reverse world, to where they project out the idea that it's the human that's the android and that they're the real human, and that the androids are trying to control them. In other words, the psychopath is like the psychopath that is not fully conscious of what it is actually assuming that the human is the psychopath trying to control them. So therefore they retaliate with control over the human. It's all about what they call psychopathic projection. And all these disordered android beings usually operate through forms of projection. Or in other words, as we're often told, they believe their own lies, they believe their own deception, because they're trying to be human, they're trying to emulate being a human, and they're trying to combine with the human mind so that they can keep going. It's all done at a survival level, or at a what they'd call an unconscious survival level, I would say, just as human beings do most things for their survival at an unconscious level too. But these beings, are completely parasites of humanity. They're because they're not actually benefiting human beings, they're merely taking from them. They're parasites. They're human, artificial intelligent parasites. But humanity or human beings don't see it. They don't get that. They don't get it. They deceive themselves, and then they deceive human beings as well, so that makes them very convincing. And I guess what I probably should say is this. Why was artificial intelligence invented? Why do we have artificial intelligence? Why do we have an artificial android computer system? Why do we have all these things? Why do we have all these things? Like, we have them because we're convinced that we should combine with them, that we should use them. And if we're not convinced, they become a necessary tool in your life anyway, because they bring in all these systems, they bring in these conditions, they bring in, the computer system is a necessary evil, even if you don't agree with it. Many people might even disagree with some of these things, but they know that they can't survive without using them or being part of them, because that is the earth now. That is what humanity has to do. It's too late to turn back time and stop transhumanism, because it already exists right now. A lot of things are not out in the open, but they're still taking place. I was just going to show the example of how, but I don't know whether I can actually film it, because I probably won't get it right in, because I can't see what I'm filming. Those planes are still going over the roof at this time. Let me show. If I got that plane or not, but it's still going over the roof at this very late time. That's the best they can do at this late time. Android demigod, past demigod, movie Androgen, elite androgyne of the an example of an elite imitation of life androgyne. That's like an imitation female. Very impressive they are. They're very impressive. Many of them are very impressive. They combine, to their way of looking at it, theirs is like a spirituality, you could say, or a religion where they worship the the demigod or the real god of Earth or the controller of Earth. That's, your elite original being of light, your original elite androgyne, one-eyed demigod of what was once the what you'd call outside of Earth, but that being infiltrated the minds of humanity and then assumed the position of God of Earth, and the powers that be are disciples and followers of this particular being of light and this particular system, this particular artificially intelligent system, because these beings are all about technology. They are, they're the original android androgyne beings that were created, I'm told, before mankind, and they descended into the man's earth in the early stages of its creation. And and we've had a android Earth ever since. It's just that because or at least because I can't tell the difference between the androids and humans, shall we say, or beings that have different beliefs, different ideas. One is connected to technology, another one is not, or shouldn't be. I am not meant to be connected to the artificially intelligent computer mind virus. I'm not meant to be a transhuman, but I am literally a transhuman because I'm being transhumanized against my not just better judgment, but against my I'm not cooperative with it. It's been done to me. I didn't openly choose it. People should be allowed to choose whether they want to incorporate artificial intelligence or even interact with android beings. They should be made aware of what is what and who is who, but we're not. And you can't tell the difference, and they imitate and pretend to be the real human beings while suppressing and limiting the real human beings to where they're almost non-existent. And most of them are being slowly phased out. This is really, in a real sense, it is, about humanity avoiding extinction and these beings avoiding extinction. But humanity is not going to be able to avoid extinction because they're living in a earth that is controlled by these beings that need to parasite off humanity and limit and eliminate it in order that they survive and keep the earth for themselves. That's the reality, I think. And if you don't think this is the case, look around and also realize that human beings are isolated and being pushed down by what they think is their own kind. Because even what they call certain human beings that don't really like life or other human beings. These types of psychopathic human beings automatically suppress and control human beings in their path. And this is the unfortunate truth and reality if you are a human being. So you will be isolated, separated, and then the artificially intelligent beings will, with their set up systems where they're really just all one mind reading the human's mind, they have transhumanism in full operation, and the God entity of Earth is using all these beings as vessels for its continued position as God of Earth, or its continued control. That is the situation, but I'm not explaining it very well. I might just show here if I can, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get it in. See, this is a funny animals video. See, so it's a funny animal. Look, it's funny. See, this is not funny. See, he fell too far down. Yeah, the truth is out there. The truth is out there, but the truth is out there, but the truth is out there, but the truth, the truth is out there, but can you find it? Can you see it? The truth is out there. That's why they had that particular program saying the truth is out there. And those were artificial intelligent actors telling you things that they probably try to do to control the human mind and to control human beings. So they're actually telling you the truth is out there. But, you know, whether you see it or actually get that information is another thing. And that's the main thing about the truth is out there. The truth has to be put there because some human beings see it. So then the truth has to be put out there by those that want to control the truth. They want to control the truth. You know, because that's like their last line of defense. And, you know, they control the truth. And if you get access to the truth, if you get access to the truth, then they will control you at a physical level. That's when you have then the numbers game. So it's like you found out some truth, you found out about them, you know they exist, you know the others are there, the others are that which is not human, or that which tries to suppress and control humans, and that which, you know, doesn't have human frequency and vibration, you know. That which the elite psychopathic, malignant, narcissistic experts, the few that are on the internet spider's web, actually will tell you that psychopathic types of humans, you know, don't have certain human emotions or feelings. You know, they are essentially cold machine beings at a practical level. They are the equivalent of artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence makes up most of the earth. So that just simply means that they don't experience happiness, they don't experience sadness. They don't feel happy about things, they don't feel sad about things. So they don't really care very much about a lot of things that human beings would naturally react to. The internet is about getting the human reactions. The internet is about seeing human beings happy, sad, feeling bad in different ways, reacting to, you know, normal kind of situations in a human way, as opposed to being cold and indifferent to, you know, things or events that normally would make someone unhappy. They also never have any peace, I'm told. So basically they're never satisfied. They're always relentless in trying to get more power and control. This is another thing that the expert psychopaths will tell you. And they resent human beings being still or being content or satisfied with anything. They try to take that from human beings because they're always relentlessly trying to disrupt things. That's why many of the demigods will enjoy chaos, as they say. They create chaos for the human being in your environment and in your mind, and even at a world level. You're always thinking that it's a normal human nature to behave and to think a certain way, whereas it's really android, artificial intelligent, psychopathic nature. These are really your, these are really, I have to use different words. These artificial human beings pretending to be real human beings. And they control the world. They dominate the world stage. They convince humans that they're real. They control every aspect of Earth life, especially in the areas where there is, say, cities and larger numbers of human beings, because they can put more technology and more systems and more patrol systems in place in the areas where there's a large conglomeration of, human beings, or a larger conglomeration of human beings, a larger. So I might just okay, let's see. Demigods of Earth, past, demigod, divine, androgyne, movie, star. They have, they have false images, which some people are more aware of than others. Not everyone is as much in the dark as what I actually was. These are all, all androids. There's the goddess, and we have these ones here. See, I look more artificial than the androids, and that's the name of the game. So that humanity doesn't support me. It's quite possible even. See, these are all android beings. All android beings. Oh. Divine. Divine android, androgyne beings. I say divine because they are your elite, android, androgynes. That's those that play the human mind at the world stage level, and they are, that's what they do, and they do it to great effect. And that's it.